So there's plenty to come over the next couple of hours. And of course, we have our BBC presenters pretty much everywhere, and including the Palace of Westminster where the lunch is happening. So let's join Fiona, who's there.
This is a great sense of anticipation here. The crowd's been waiting for hours for their moments to see the Queen come out of New Palace Yard as the procession.
The anthem played by the National Children's Orchestra of Great Britain. The Duke of Cambridge surveying the scene there, and lunch just coming to an end. Formal toast obviously has been made, so within a few minutes I think we can expect to see the royal party preparing to leave Westminster Hall. There'll be a few minutes delay before that happens, and then they'll emerge from the north door, including the Duchess of Cambridge there, and they'll be taking their places in that carriage procession to return to Buckingham Palace. Prince of Wales enjoying a chat there with the hosts at his table, and all of these hosts are senior members of livery companies in the city who do so much work for charities around the year, and lots of the guests are young people who've either benefited from the charitable work that goes on, or people who are associated with lots of the work. So Queen now is ready to leave Westminster Hall after lunch. The white wand of the Marquis of Cholmondeley, Royal Great Chamberlain, who's in charge of the royal parts of the Palace of Westminster, principally the Royal Gallery and the robing room at the other end of the palace, but Westminster Hall is under the joint control, if you like, or joint jurisdiction of several officers in the Palace of Westminster. And other members of the royal family too preparing to leave, so some final arrangements to be made there, and Ronnie and Emma still with Marquis of Cholmondeley with his white wand of office accompanies the Queen to the north door, Westminster Hall, and this is where the traditional carriage procession will begin. Black Rod just on the left there is in charge of security and so much of the management of the House of Lords, and is responsible for lots of the events that go on in Westminster Hall, and was one of the prime organisers of today's lunch. He's also a governor of the National Children's Orchestra playing today. So the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall will accompany the Queen in the 1902 State Landau. So Robert Hardman's still with me, and that's what they've done to rearrange this procession, Robert.
That's right. We've lost one of the originally three open carriages, the three landaus. We're now going to see two, and very neatly done. Obviously, it would have been very poignant, but rather unkind to expect the Queen to to travel on her own. And here we see what we've seen a lot through this Jubilee, which is the generations mixing it up. It's much more of a team event for Elliot. At this stage of the last Jubilee, the Golden Jubilee, it was just the Queen and the Duke coming down the Mall in an open-top Range Rover, greeting a procession. Here we see all the family in together, and Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, she travelled with her daughter and daughter-in-law, and there are many echoes, I think, of that moment here today as we see this. Logistical operation there, and it's great. It does allow lots more people to see it than normally would.
This is where we get a bird's eye view from the studio window as well, Robert. Just behind us. Yeah. There we are. There we are. And that is the presentation of a posy by coachman Philippa Jackson, who would have been in the third carriage had there been a third carriage today, but Philippa presenting a posy there. Part of the tradition, normally a posy which is left in the carriage for the Queen on certain events, but being presented here today because of the Diamond Jubilee. And there we see the Guard of Honour, a large Guard of Honour today. Robert's already told us it's the 1st Italian Irish Guards, with the band of the regiment and the pipes and drums, and they're ready for the ceremonial events that are to come. And Robert's still with me, and I'm just wondering at this stage, Robert, before we have a little flavour of what's going on in the Mall, we'll do that in a second, because as you rightly say, the crowds are building. When they appear on the balcony there, just behind us, just a sense there of what that image will mean.
I think for the Queen it will mean, well, apart from the fact it will mean, that this is the climax, it will mean, I really can reflect on these 4 days. I can reflect on the fact that this has gone probably far better than anyone expected, well, with the obvious exception, the Duke missing the final part of the celebrations, but nonetheless, I think every step of this, whatever
it's pretty hard to beat.
Prime Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Was Fiona Bruce there talking to David Cameron in the garden of 10 Downing Street. A sense here of the crowds building, because there's not long to go before we have that spectacular fly past by the RAF. There we are, the crowd surging towards Admiralty Arch and being held back by that line of police at the moment, but they will gradually be allowed to flow down the Mall towards the Queen Victoria Memorial and Buckingham Palace itself. So being held there at the moment, but there you get a real sense of the crowd that is now building along the Mall, and all of them flowing out from St James's Park on the southern side of the Mall onto the great expanse of the Mall itself. But it does give you a true sense of the size and the strength of this crowd. Reminds us a little of the crowd here last night for the concert, which was indeed impressive. Chris Hollins is there for us and can give us a better sense of what's going on in the mood there.
Yes, thank you very much, Hugh. As ever, everybody is really looking forward to that moment they can walk down the Mall and surround Buckingham Palace. They seem quite quiet at the moment, but they're all right. We've got, look at these beautiful faces painted with the Union flag there. You're looking a little bit tired. What time were you here yesterday?
I was here at 3 o'clock, but prior to that I'd also camped out for the river pageant as
river
well.
Pageant. So you've really gone full out?
Oh, I've really gone full out. Absolutely soaked. I probably...
Berry, leading in the fly past. On its way, 4 Spitfires, followed by a Hurricane, Flight Lieutenant Roger Nichols. Spitfires, Squadron Leader Ian Smith, Wing Commander Goff, dynamic, exciting, the Red Arrows. red one, the Hawk T1 aircraft, streaming red, white and blue over Buckingham Palace. So that is the fly past, and they clearly enjoyed it. The Queen certainly did. Lots of shots of God Save the Queen and more from this great crowd outside Buckingham Palace today. As they wait for this special form of rifle salute, which Sir Sebastian Roberts explained to us a short while ago, called the Feu de Joie.